estate guy, and a lot of people are having questions about, hey, the Fed just dumped so much money and this is 0% interest that has no bearing on the mortgage industry in terms of getting a loan. It has no bearing on interest rates. Okay, interest rates are still fluctuating. As of last week, we definitely saw interest rates spiked a little bit higher than what they have been, and then today they've lowered. So the 30-year is below 4%, and the 15-year fixed is what I'm talking about. I always just talk about fixed loans, is below 3%. So it's still a great time to be in the market. It is still a seller's market, which means it is highly, highly competitive for people that are in the buying position. A lot of people have gone, they get loans, they're working on their credit to take advantage of this time where the interest rates are low, and I implore you to do so and keep moving forward. Even with everything going on in the media with the virus and whatnot, I understand taking precautions, but it is still a time to buy if you can. And I want to just touch on a few best practices for if you're refinancing or if you want to buy a home. We're going to start with refinancing. So with refinancing, you want to take advantage of the interest rate, especially if you have a interest rate that is above 4%. If you have an interest rate above 4%, you want to make sure that your FICO score is in good shape and your debt to income is low. Okay, so that way you can get the best interest rate available that day. Okay, you want to get an appraisal. All right, the reason why you want to get an appraisal is because down here I say you want to know the equity, which means the difference between how much you owe on that property and how much your property is worth in the current market. Okay, that's why people refinance this. One, why you want to refinance? Because I want to get out of an FHA loan where I cannot get away from the mortgage insurance. Two, I have equity that I can transfer from a FHA loan to a conventional loan, and I can eliminate mortgage insurance altogether. One, I just want to another one, I just want to lower my monthly payment. Whatever the case may be, you want to know what the equity is in my house, and you want to get an appraisal to tell you that. Okay, to make it simple, if you purchased a house at $200,000 and it is 5 years down the road, and now the house you owe on the house $175,000, right? Okay, so now that says there's $25,000 equity in the house, but because of the market change and market rate, the appraised value of that house goes up. Now that house is worth $225,000. So now that adds an additional $25,000 to your equity, bringing that to a total of $50,000 in equity, which some people would like to refinance to get better terms, or a cash out refinance and use those funds for something else they want to do. Okay. Also, you want to have all the necessary paperwork and properly documented and signed and sent back into the lender ASAP. The reason being, there is a ton of people in the market purchasing, buying houses, selling houses, refinancing houses, investing in houses, which means the mortgage industry can't handle all the work. That's probably some of the reason why the interest rates went up, because they had to find a way to limit the people with applications on whatever kind of real estate transaction. So you want to make sure all your documents are in a row. You want to make sure you have the appraisal. You want to make sure you get the equity out of your house, that you know it. So when you refinance, you can do it, and you can do it quicker than normal or anybody else. Now, buyers, okay? It's very important that buyers move expeditiously, because there is less inventory of homes nationwide, especially here in Houston. And that inventory means there's less homes on the market than there are buyers in the market, okay? So one thing you want to have is prepaids. You want to have your prepaids available, so as soon as you go into contract, that same day checks can go to the title company and to the buyer for your option money. You also want to go ahead and get that inspection. We talked about that before. Get that inspection done. Have it lined up before you go look at houses, because if you find the right house, you want to say, hey, I'm going to put an offer on this house. If it is accepted and we execute that contract, I want to schedule my inspection that same day if possible, if not the next day, because inspectors are under fire too, because they're also doing a ton of work with all the different real estate transactions. Second thing is, order that appraisal earlier. Order it now. Same concept. You know you want to see houses. Have the appraiser or have your agent talk to the lender and say, as soon as we get under contract, I want to send the appraiser out as soon as possible. Okay, you're giving yourself slight advantages over the next person to make sure that you can get in that home. Get quicker updates on VOE, which is verification of employment. Send all your documents in, have them legit. If the underwriter needs some other information, send it to them the same day. You want to limit the time of your transaction to make it more appealing to the seller, to make sure they know that you're serious about what you're doing. You have all your documentation in, you get all your inspections done and appraisals done. They know you're serious about buying a house. Little to no contingencies. Okay, this is where it could be a bit of an issue because a lot of people, first-time home buyers, they're taking out down payment assistance or whatnot, and they need some type of contingencies, meaning seller contributions, lower sales price, asking for home warranty, things like that, or help on closing costs. In the market right now, since it's so competitive, it may be 4, 5, 6 people looking to purchase that same house. Okay, so the person that the seller sees with less contingencies, less money that they have to give, less reasons for them to have an issue of closing on time, the better for that seller, which means the contingencies that you may have may lead you to another house because you get beat out by somebody else offering. So if you can minimize or have no contingencies, that is ideal in today's market to make sure you have a strong offer. You want to give the best offer right off the bat, and you also want to search your lenders. Not all lenders are created equal. Some lenders can do different things. They have different products and programs. There are institutions, financial institutions. There's mortgage brokers. There are creative ways in order for you to get loans. Make sure that you have your credit where it needs to be, and then you can move forward with getting the best interest rate and what best works for you and your family's need in today's current market. So it's Cory the Real Estate Guy. I'm available. We about to be quarantined. Hopefully not, but I'm still pumping out content and still doing business, taking out people day in and day out. Let's get you into a home in 2020. It's Cory the Real Estate Guy talking about best practices.